Ever wondered about the tiny organisms that help us brew our beer, bake our bread, or even create life-saving antibiotics? These microscopic marvels, known as yeasts and molds, play an integral part in our lives, often without us even realizing it. They're the unseen heroes of our kitchens, breweries, and laboratories. Among these, 3 stand out: Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Candida albicans, and Penicillium. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, our baker's best friend, is a yeast that works wonders in our bread and beer. Candida albicans, a common member of our body's microbial community, can play the role of a double agent, usually harmless but potentially harmful under certain conditions. And then we have Penicillium, the mold that gave us the first antibiotic, penicillin. This is just the tip of the microscopic iceberg. There's a whole world of yeasts and molds out there waiting to be explored. So let's dive deeper into these microorganisms and their roles in our everyday lives. Meet Saccharomyces cerevisiae, a yeast that has been our ally since ancient times. This microscopic fungus, commonly known as brewer's or baker's yeast, plays a vital role in our daily lives. Let's delve a bit into the biology of this fascinating organism. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is a single-celled species of yeast. It's a member of the fungus kingdom and is one of the most intensely studied eukaryotic model organisms in molecular and cell biology. This is because it shares the complex cellular structure of plants and animals, but with the simplicity of a unicellular organism. Now let's explore its role in fermentation, an ancient technique we've been utilizing for thousands of years. Fermentation is a metabolic process that converts sugar to acids, gases, or alcohol. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is a champion fermenter, especially when it comes to the sugars found in grains like wheat and barley. So how does this apply to baking and brewing? Well, in baking, the yeast ferments the sugars present in the dough, producing carbon dioxide. This gas gets trapped within the dough, causing it to rise and giving bread its light, fluffy texture. In brewing, the process is a little bit more complex. The yeast not only ferments the sugars in the grains to produce alcohol and carbon dioxide, but also contributes to the taste, aroma, and appearance of the beer. Different strains of Saccharomyces cerevisiae can even create different flavors and styles of beer. It's remarkable to think that a tiny, single-celled organism can have such a significant impact on our food and drink. From the bread that makes up our sandwiches to the beer we enjoy at the end of a long day, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is there, working its microscopic magic. So the next time you enjoy a loaf of bread or a pint of beer, remember the tiny organism that made it possible. Now let's turn our attention to Candida albicans, an organism that lives within us, but can also cause harm. Candida albicans is an intriguing character in the microscopic world. It's a type of yeast, a single-celled organism, that's both a friend and a foe to our bodies. In most cases, Candida albicans lives peacefully within us, mainly in our gastrointestinal tract and mouth, without causing any trouble. It's what we call a commensal organism, living in harmony with us and other microbes in our bodies. It's a part of our microbiome, the vast community of microorganisms that call our bodies home. But don't be fooled by its usual benign nature. Candida albicans is a double agent. When our immune system is compromised, it can switch sides and become pathogenic, leading to infections. This yeast has a unique ability to morph from a round yeast form to a hyphal form, like a thread. This transformation allows it to penetrate our tissues and cause a variety of infections ranging from superficial, such as oral thrush and vaginitis, to systemic and potentially life-threatening diseases. But how does it know when to transform? Well, Candida albicans is sensitive to its surroundings. Changes in the environment, such as a shift in pH, temperature, or nutrient availability, can trigger this transformation. It's a survival strategy, enabling it to adapt and thrive under different conditions. What's fascinating is how our bodies usually keep this double agent in check. A healthy immune system and a balanced microbiome prevent Candida albicans from causing harm. It's only when this balance is disrupted that the yeast can take advantage and cause infections. Candida albicans is a prime example of how complex our interactions with microorganisms are. It's a reminder that we're not just ourselves, but a vast ecosystem of microscopic life. Our health is a delicate balance, a dance with these tiny organisms, and understanding them can help us maintain that balance. Candida albicans, a reminder of how our bodies are a complex ecosystem of microscopic organisms. We'll continue our journey into the microscopic world in the next scene, where we'll meet an organism that's a lifesaver in the medical world. Stay tuned. It's time to appreciate Penicillium, the mold that gave us the first antibiotic. A silent hero in the world of medicine, Penicillium is a genus of fungi that paints our bread with a velvety blue-green hue when left unchecked. But more than just a pantry nuisance, it's a lifesaver, quite literally. Let's step back to the year 1928, when a serendipitous event in a London lab changed the world. A certain Dr. Alexander Fleming returned from a vacation to find a petri dish of Staphylococcus bacteria contaminated with a blue-green mold. He noticed that around this mold, the bacteria were not growing. The mold, later identified as Penicillium notatum, was secreting a substance lethal to the bacteria. Fleming named this substance penicillin. Penicillium's ability to produce antibiotics didn't stop with penicillin. It's a biochemical powerhouse, producing other antibiotics like griseofulvin and cephalosporin. These are weapons in Penicillium's survival strategy, warding off bacterial competitors in its ecological niche. For us, they've become invaluable tools in the fight against infectious diseases. Consider the world before antibiotics. A simple scratch could lead to a lethal infection. Surgeries, childbirth, treatment of wounds, all carried an immense risk. With the discovery of penicillin, we gained the upper hand against bacterial infections. Penicillium, thus, represents a turning point in our medical history, but it's not just about antibiotics. Penicillium also plays a role in the production of several cheeses, including Camembert and Roquefort. It's a testament to the versatility of this mold, contributing to both our well-being and culinary delights. As we stand in the era of antibiotic resistance, Penicillium reminds us of our ongoing struggle and symbiotic relationship with the microbial world. It underscores the need for careful antibiotic stewardship and the pursuit of new antimicrobial compounds. So the next time you see that blue-green mold on your bread or cheese, remember, it's not just a spoilage organism. It's a representation of a breakthrough that has saved countless lives. It's an unsung hero in our fight against disease. Thank you, Penicillium, for changing the course of medicine. As we've learned, yeasts and molds play crucial roles in our lives. Let's take a moment to revisit what we've uncovered so far. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, the baker's best friend, is responsible for the fluffy texture we love in our breads and pastries. It's a yeast that ferments sugar into carbon dioxide, giving rise to the dough. But its applications extend beyond the kitchen. It's also a model organism in biology, aiding us in understanding cellular processes like DNA replication and cell division. Next, we encountered Candida albicans, a yeast we described as a double agent. It's a part of the human microbiome, living harmlessly within us under normal circumstances. However, when our immune system is compromised, it can turn into a pathogenic fungus causing infections. Despite its potential for harm, it also offers us a window into understanding fungal infections and developing treatments for them. Then we delved into the world of Penicillium, a mold that has gifted us one of the greatest discoveries in medical history, penicillin. This antibiotic, derived from Penicillium, has saved countless lives and continues to be a cornerstone of modern medicine, but its value doesn't stop there. It's also used in the food industry, lending unique flavors to certain cheeses. These organisms, though microscopic, have a macroscopic impact on our world. They are crucial in industries ranging from food production to pharmaceuticals. They assist us in understanding complex biological processes and in combating diseases. They're tiny powerhouses, driving advancements in science and technology. The stories of Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Candida albicans, and Penicillium highlight the incredible potential that resides in the microscopic world. They remind us that even the smallest entities can have profound effects on our existence. In exploring these organisms, we're not just learning about yeasts and molds, we're learning about the intricate tapestry of life itself and how even the tiniest threads weave into its grand design. These tiny organisms remind us of the immense power and potential that lies within the microscopic world. As we close our exploration of yeasts and molds, the journey of understanding our microscopic allies continues. We've discovered how the baker's best friend, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, helps bread to rise, how Candida albicans can play the roles of both friend and foe in our bodies, and how Penicillium, a common mold, revolutionized medicine by producing antibiotics. Yet the world of microbiology is vast and ever-changing, filled with countless other minuscule life forms waiting to be discovered. Each microbe, each yeast, and each mold has a story to tell, a role to play in the grand scheme of life. They are the unseen heroes and villains of our world, silently shaping the environment, our food, our health, and even our history. So don't let the adventure end here. Let your curiosity guide you deeper into this fascinating universe of the tiny and unseen. Subscribe for more because you won't find me later. Together, let's continue to unravel the mysteries of the microscopic world.